Excel Tutorial 3, pages 162 through 170. Autofilling formulas and data. Okay, read briefly about autofill and using the fill handle. To copy the calories burned summary statistics and formatting with the fill handle in cell K13. All right, let's move up to K and 13. Enter calories burned. All right, select the range J14 through J18. Okay, that contains the cells with formulas for calculating the sum, average, median, min, and max total minutes. A fill handle appears in the lower right corner of the selected range, directly above and to the left of the Quick Analysis button. Step number 3, point to the fill handle. All right, your fill handle is that little square right there. Do you see that little teeny tiny green square right there? When you're properly on top of your fill handle and it's active, you'll have like a black plus sign. Do you see it? You won't have the white one. You'll have that black plus sign. All you have to do is click and drag over just like that and let go. Okay, again, to use your fill handle, select your range, lower right hand corner, the black plus sign, click, pull across, let go, and it copies your formulas. All right, format the range K14 through K18 to display one decimal place. This stuff should go really fast for you at this point, right? You've done this hundreds of times now. Okay, go ahead and take a look at the top of page 163, figure 3-21, and you can see an example of what we just did. Okay, and then right after number 6, it tells you the correct numbers that you should have. So it should be 9349.5, 406.5, 537.3, 0, and then 644.8. Okay, they gave you all your check numbers on page 163 in a paragraph that's just under the number 6. All right, when you have those correct, go ahead and read using the autofill options button, and then we're going to flip over to page 164 and read about filling a series and how to create a series with autofill. And then when you've done all that, we are going to start on page 165 where it says to use autofill to enter the calendar dates. All right, in cell F22, so here's F, here is 22, enter 8/1/2016. Okay, always remember to press your enter key. Now go back and click on cell F22 again. Drag the fill handle down. Okay, so let's scroll down so we can see it all because we're going to go through 44. So we're going to grab the fill handle and we're going to pull straight down. Okay, and as you can see, it increments the date by 1 day for each cell all the way down, ending with 8/23/2016 in cell F44. Okay, go ahead and really read these couple little paragraphs right here about more complex autofill patterns. And then we're going to fill the dates of weekdays in August. All right, make sure the range F22 through F44 is selected. So this is F22, it's all the dates we just did. On the Home tab in the Editing group, okay, Home tab, Editing group, click the Fill button, and then click Series. There's your Fill button right there. Then you see Series. Now Series has the ellipsis, the 3 periods after it, which tells you that when you click on it, whenever you see an ellipsis, it means that a dialog box is going to open. Okay, so that means your Series dialogs box opens when you click that. Again, fully dockable, move it wherever you want it so that you can see it. In the Type section, make sure that the Date option is selected. Okay, so we are going to look at Type, and we're going to make sure that the Date option is selected. That's a radio button, and that radio button is blue, so it's the one that's active. Go ahead and turn the page. Page 166, the top of page number 4. In the date unit section, there's your date unit section, click the weekday option. Okay, so now that series is only going to include dates Monday through Friday. It's not going to include Saturday or Sunday, okay? Because apparently this person, doesn't work out on the weekend. They want to rest. Okay, when you have that done, so it says column, date, weekday, go ahead and click OK. Now you're going to see a change in your dates, okay? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we skip 6 and 7, which must be the weekend. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 are the weekend. Do you see the pattern that's happening? So their last ending value is 831. All right, let's reset and hit save real quick. All right, working with date functions, read that real quick on the very bottom of 166 and most of page 167. All right, select cell G2. Number 2, on the Formulas tab, in the Function Library group, okay, Formulas tab, Function Library group, click the Date and Time button to display the date and time functions. Date and time right here. Number 3, click Today. Okay, right there. The Function Arguments dialog box opens and indicates that the date function requires no argument. Okay, today is just today. There's no argument about it, right? Okay, go ahead and click OK. Verify that the current date is displayed in the cell. Now please remember the date I have in here is not the same date that you're using this. Okay, so don't worry if yours doesn't match mine. What you want to worry about is it matches the actual date that you're working on this, okay? All right, format that cell using the calculation style. Okay, we're going to have to click back on our Home tab. And we're going to go over to our Styles group. If calculation isn't showing for you right there, hit that down pointing arrow, go to Date and Model, and click Calculation. All right, let's flip to page 168, where you need to read about finding the next weekday with the workday function. Okay, this is really important and useful. Okay, so make sure that you read this and understand it. Okay, and you understand the workday argument that they have set up there. Okay, to insert the exercise dates using the workday function. All right, in cell G7. Here's G, here's 7. Enter 8/1/2016. That specifies the date the workouts will begin, and then format the cell using the input cell style. Click back on it, click input. Okay, remember, anytime you don't have them sitting here looking at you, just hit that down pointing arrow and hunt it down. In cell G8, enter the formula equals F44. That displays the date of the last scheduled workout, which is 8/31/2016. Go ahead and hit your Enter key and pop right back up onto it. And we're going to format that with the calculation style. Okay? Did I get that? I did. Step number 3. In cell F22, F22, enter the formula equals G7 to replace the date with a reference to the start date you specified in cell G7. So equals G7. The cell should display 8/1/2016. In cell F23, select it if you're not already there. Click the Insert Function button right there. Step number 5. Type working days in the Search for a Function box. And click Go. Okay, step number 6. In the Select a Function box, click Workday. See it right there? I'm going to select the function Workday and click OK. Alright, in the Start Date, and then this one is different. Before it would say number 1, number 2, this one says Start Date. Okay, in the Start Date box, type the cell reference F22. Okay, in the days box, right here, just click on it, type 1. Okay, that specifies the number of work days after the date in cell F22 that you want the formula results to show. And then click OK. All right, the formula in cell F23 should read equals workday, open paren, F22, comma, 1, close paren. And the value it displays is 8/2/2016, which is the next workday. You want to use the same formula to calculate the rest of the workout dates. You can just use our autofill to quickly repeat the formula. Select cell F23. Okay, if you're not already on it, go ahead and click on it. Then drag the fill handle down over the range F23 through F44 to copy the formula and enter the rest of the workdays in the month. Okay? Oops, right here, F23, fill handle, pull, pull, pull. Because the copied formulas use relative reference, each cell displays a date that is one workday after the date in the previous cell. The dates should not be different from the dates you entered previously using the autofill. All right, format the range F22 through F44. Okay, F22 through F44 with the calculation cell style to show that these dates are calculated by a formula rather than entered manually. You will test the formula in the range F22 through F44 working days correctly, entering a different start date. In cell G7, enter 9/1/2016. In cell G7, okay, 9/1/2016. When you press your enter key, all of these dates just changed, correct? Review the dates in the range F22 through F44, verifying if the workout dates start on 9/2 in cell F23, right there. And let's see, and continue with 9/5 in cell F24, and end with 10/3 in cell F44. All right, in cell G7, I'm going to kick this back to 8/1 and press your enter key. Now, read that little blue insight box on page 169 that discusses selecting the days in the work week. Really important stuff about how weekends work and how just because we think a weekend is Saturday and Sunday, there are certainly places where that's not true. That's not where their business has their weekend. Some businesses are open 6 days a week and they're only closed on Sunday or Monday. A lot of hair salons, as an example, are closed on Sundays and Mondays. So you need to read that so you can understand how we could alter the weekend to fit the business's work schedule. When you've read that, click over to 170, and we're just going to do a quick thing on counting cells. It's very important that you know the difference between count and count A. They do two different things, and they're very specific. So again, please make sure you know the difference between count and count A. All right, on page 170, to count the scheduled, attended, and missed workouts. In cell G9, enter the formula equals count, okay, open parentheses, F22 through F44, closed, okay, count, F22 through F44, press your enter key. Cell G9 displays 23, indicating that Ken scheduled 23 workouts for the month. In cell G10, which is where you should be right now, if you're not, just click on it, enter the formula equals count A, okay, count A, G22 through G44, and press your enter key. All right. Apparently, Daniel didn't work out quite as much as he was supposed to. All right, in cell G11, enter the formula equals G9 through G10, and I have an error which I need to find. Let me go back to it, and by the way, I always leave my errors in just so you can see it happens to everybody. So G10 and then G9. Okay, G9 equals count F22 through F44. G10 equals count A, G22 through G44. And why am I coming up with a negative number? I am going to go hunt this down. G22 through G44. I'm going to do a check figure to see why this is happening and why I'm getting a negative number. And it works out perfectly right there. So why am I getting it wrong there? Now I have to fix that one because I just fixed this one. Okay, I don't know if you saw what I did, but I went to the range that was having the problem and I did what's called a check figure because my count A up here didn't work. Okay, I count A, G22 through G44. I just went down to G22 through G44, ran a count A right here, and it worked fine, so I cut it and copied and pasted it right there. And now I need to redo this one, which is equals G9 minus G10, right? G9 minus G10, and there's my 6. Okay, so honestly, when I make mistakes like that, I always leave them in so that when you're doing your homework, you'll learn what to do. I could not tell you why that came out as a negative. You might have seen a typo that I didn't see when I'm working on it, which is very typical when you're doing your own work. You don't see your own typos, but there is always a way to fix it. You can either just delete the darn formula and try it again. And if it continues to be a problem, you saw what I did. I went to that actual range, G22 through G44, and ran it down here at the bottom and ran that count A right here to see what would happen. Okay, so if you have an error, there's always a way to track it and figure it out. And if worse comes to worse, you just delete your formulas and try it again because it's usually something really simple. Okay, that's the end of this video. Make sure you hit save before you stop and move on to the next one.